Hello, this is Christine Palacio. India is the 6th chapter of my 100 days around the world. As I was preparing for this journey, a well-traveled friend of mine gave me the good advice of taking a guided tour of 2 weeks in Rajasthan. What a good idea, which I followed. India is not an easy travel, it's not easily accessible, and the obstacle of language is very important. Every day, the tourist must also dig into its own resources of patience and tolerance and adaptation. Nevertheless, it's worth it. Over a year after my returning home, I still think of it very often. It has changed my perspective on life and the world. I hope that the next 2 programs will bring back some good memories to my traveling companions, that it will instill in all of you the desire to go and visit India, and some of you, as myself, the desire to go back. Through a dense fog, the plane lands on a runway that quickly shows major renovation works. It will take over an hour and a half to make it to the airport terminal and just as long to go through customs. The late arrival worries me, but my hotel has sent a chauffeur with a jumbo card bearing my name. As he leaves, a Belgian friend met in the lineup to the customs agent shouts, "Incredible India!" Delhi's traffic is completely jammed during the rush hour, a traffic jam that seems quite permanent given the extensive subway work executed in view of the 2010 Commonwealth Games. A lovely bedroom awaits me at the Ramada Plaza, a nice hotel that I will appreciate the following morning, discovering also its serious security measures. In India, touristic sites are highly guarded. After a moment to gather the small group of travelers I will join, we leave in the minibus that will take us over 2,200 kilometers across Rajasthan in the company of a guide and 2 chauffeurs. Namaste. We drive across Delhi still strangled by traffic, and stops along the way are brightened by street artists and their funny performances in exchange for some rupees. Begging children will be our permanent and omnipresent companions during this journey. The first visit is for the Mahatma Gandhi cenotaph, which is on the site of his incineration in January 1948. We drive across nice sections of town to continue our visit with the ruins of the oldest mosque in the area, Qutb Minar, and its Victory Tower of some 72 meters high, the erection of which was started at the end of the 12th century. In one of its interior gardens, an iron column was erected during the 4th century, proof of the talents and knowledge of the artisans of the time. The Victory Tower was itself built to proclaim the advent of the Delhi Sultanate. The 2 short visit of Delhi's main sites ends at the Lotus Temple, completed in 1986, the meditation site of India Bahaism, a religion dedicated to the unity of humanity. Bahaism has no priests, no rites other than meditation on all ancient scriptures and silence. It has over 7 million followers in the world, half of them in India. Our long journey on the roads of Rajasthan lets us see life in cities and villages where infrastructures and organization style are not what we are familiar with. At the health break, Arjun helps us to purchase fruit, and we're on our way toward Agra's Red Fort. Built by Akbar, the Great Mughal, in the middle of the 16th century, this spectacular fortress is visited by Indians as much as by tourists. The Diwan-i-Am is the Great Mughal's public audience hall, a decor often seen in Indian movies. With its interior gardens, its architecture, using white marble finely inlaid with semi-precious stones, it is impressive. The Red Fort has resisted to the damage of centuries. The fog persists and gives the place an airy aspect, taking you into the past, when the mop had not yet been invented. And it is a great place for a family picture. Like the Taj Mahal, the fort is built on the bank of the Yamuna River, across from the mausoleum that is visible given there is no fog. But the emperors and Maharajas' time are long gone. In India, independence from the British Empire was obtained in 1947, and it is less than 10% of the actual population that enjoys its fruit, while over 70% of the people still live under the poverty level. We leave the Red Fort under the care of the military police to drive a few kilometers further across the city of Agra and witness its sad contemporary decor.
Like a calculator.
Then the white marble dome appears above the red clay entrance. We all want to believe in the love of Shah Jahan for Mumtaz Mahal and his talent as engineer and architect of this wonderful structure. The construction of the Taj Mahal ended in 1643 after 12 years of work done by over 20,000 workmen. Shah Jahan did not know then that he would be overthrown by his own son and imprisoned in the Red Fort to finish his life contemplating the mausoleum across the river where Mumtaz, his love, was buried after giving birth to their 14th child. Behind the Taj, at low-level Yamuna River, looks like a peaceful bird sanctuary where young Indian lovers look at their future and the Red Fort across the river. But it is in the memory of Lady Di that many sit on this little bench. At lunch, two young musicians give us an example of the local traditional music. Visit of a workshop of inlaid marble, and we see the traditional techniques in use. At the end of the day, the beautiful Jaipur Palace appears like an oasis of well-being with its air conditioning.
Burning a kind of incense to keep the flies away. And dress materials, crockery, cutlery, and many more things, even blankets.
The following day, en route towards Jaipur, we stop at the ancient fortress of Fatehpur Sikri to visit the walled city erected in the 16th century by the great Mughal Akbar. Capital city for about 15 years, it was totally abandoned when Akbar moved his court to Lahore. It was used again by Akbar's sons for a brief period of time during a plague outbreak in the early 1800s. Its buildings are the best preserved ones for that era. On the road to Jaipur, an unplanned stop lets us take some interesting picture of a typical farm and older men smoking their water pipe alongside the road. Our guide explains that it is quite a rich farm as they have some cattle. On the walls, dung patties are drying to be burnt as fuel. As for myself, I discover with amazement the fleur de lis, a French emblem decorating a wrought iron gate in Rajasthan.
I said, no, they're not.
After the statue of the monkey-headed god at the entrance of the city, we are lucky to see a meeting of the wise woman whose advice is sought after and who apparently influenced the region administration. And finally, another great hotel where to relax. The pink city of Jaipur and its famously known Wind Palace are must-sees. But the photos often hide a certain truth, like the fact that it is mainly closed down and that its ground level was transformed into small shops. In its time, the facade allowed women to look at the street activities without being seen. As many historical sites in India, it is not well maintained despite its fame and beauty. On the sidewalk, across the street, a man wears a red beard in imitation of the Prophet Muhammad. We will come back to this area at the end of the day, after a visit of the Amber Fort, located below the Jagar Fort at about 10 kilometers from Jaipur. Its presence was already mentioned in 11th century written documents, and the walled city was abandoned for the new city of Jaipur in the 18th century. And to climb up there, an elephant ride. At the end of the afternoon, our guide believes that it will be an unforgettable experience for us to ride through the Pink City in rickshaw. I feel like I am risking my life more than anything else, but while traveling, one must be willing and open to new experiences. Jaipur is also a large center of traditional crafts production for carpet weaving and block-printed fabrics. Demonstrations are very interesting.
He works on cotton, on silk and silk cotton mixed material. So for cotton and mixed material we use teak wood blocks. Teak wood is hard wood, so very difficult, oath and final.
We will also get to visit the Jantar Mantar, an astrological park where giant instruments were built in the 18th century by a Maharaja keen on astronomy, Jai Singh II. Driving back to the hotel, this scene reminds me of Venice, and this evening the Chowki Dani will offer us a good meal and a traditional dance show. Do not miss the second part, as we will be on the road to Pushkar. See you soon!